Have you ever thought about how children are fluent in foreign languages? Is it possible that at young age can be effectively fluent in learning foreign languages? Studies examine the benefits of early English language instruction by examining evidence from oral fluency tests. Pupils who begin in grade 7 or 8, which is 10 to 12 years old, will be referred to as late starters, whereas pupils who begin in grade 1, which is 4 years old, will be referred to as early starters. Mora 2006 discovered that late starters outperform early starters in terms of oral fluency in a study focusing on 8 years old versus 11 years old in Catalonia. The differences in conclusion between the studies, on the other hand, could be due to different input conditions. English classroom exposure of more than 1 or 2 hours per week is necessary for early language teaching to be effective. To make an early start beneficial, a communicative curriculum with extensive input exposure combined with sufficient instruction time, 3 to 5 hours per week, may be required. Being taught English for only a few hours per week will frustrate the learners, as they will feel as if they have been studying English for years without making significant progress. Exposure outside school is an important predictor for both reading and listening skills in the second language. Then, what is the effect of exposure to English outside the school on oral fluency? The more a student is exposed to English outside school, the lower the student's syllabus duration when speaking English. Furthermore, with more out-of-school exposure, a student will be produced fewer pauses and the duration of the pauses will be shorter. This can be interpreted as having a positive impact on fluency. In terms of exposure, there is no significant difference between the groups. Early starters perform better than late starters because they produce longer utterances and fewer filled pauses. It's possible that late starters' similar oral fluency performance is due to their familiarity with language concepts, which they can easily translate into the new foreign language. Older starters will easily catch up to the early starters due to this prior knowledge. Oral fluency is not solely determined by differences between an early or a late starters. Oral fluency is influenced more by exposure outside of school than by early language teaching alone. For other measures of language proficiency, exposure outside of school is far more influential than English taught in school. Encouraging students to watch television or videos with English subtitles, or to play online games and explore websites, and to use this as input for classroom activities. The influence of English exposure outside the school has been experienced by Davina Queenie Gemanisa, one of the learner students in the English Language Education Study Program at the State University of Jakarta.
I never thought that I could be more confident in English now, whether in vocabulary, lessons, and speaking. When I was 4 to 15 years old, at the time, I always thought foreign languages was a boring thing to learn and not very important, even no need to be studied. probably because of the age at which I always play with my friend and too much was my time. As a result, my foreign language test scores are always unsatisfactory. Until the moment I saw my high school friend win an English speech and debate competition, then I always imagined how I would be an actor from the film I love and then replace them into me. Because at the time I really liked the Harry Potter movies, the UK accent really amazed me. Doing my favorite activities can help me improve my oral fluency because I love playing games where the people mostly are foreigners. I thought at the time if I couldn't speak their language, who would I play with? And it motivated me in learning the language.
Some people have been through the journey. It can be concluded that exposure has a strong direct influence on fluency for both early and late starters. And it's time to use your favorite activities to improve your oral fluency.